Let's talk to Jedi fan.
Yo.
Hey guys, what's up?
Yo, what's happening?
Just want to say, first of all, I really love the latest ad for the drowning. I thought it was
thank
hilarious.
you. Thanks a lot.
Can I say the fruit roll-up gag was? I laughed so hard at that.
Really?
It was so out of the blue and so random. I loved it. It was so great.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, so before I answer my question, the genesis of this question was Jake Ennis and Last Cody and Mr. Rhett Gardner all sent me a link today to this video called Sexuality of the Antichrist in Gangnam Style. And it is the most batshit insane video that I have ever seen. It's 13 minutes of this 70-year-old guy, and he's talking about how God created Gangnam Style to show that the Antichrist has come back to Earth.
Oh my
God. It is... he's like the 70-year-old guy, and he has over 300 videos.
Oh my God.
Where he talks about the Antichrist and how he's coming back.
So,
and he did a whole series of videos.
So in each one, is he just picking a different pop culture icon to claim the Antichrist as?
No, he doesn't pick a whole... Here's the thing, though. He's only ever... Gangnam Style is the only pop culture thing he's ever focused on.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, because I went back and looked at all these videos, and he actually one of the videos he did was a campaign song for the Romney and Ryan campaign called "Get on the R Train."
Oh yeah, wasn't that made by Tim Heidecker or something?
I don't know. I don't think it was because it just seems not. I don't know. It doesn't seem that level of quality because he takes it so seriously. Mm-hmm. And he calls himself the third eagle of the apocalypse. And it's just, I would say as soon as you can, just look it up because it's honestly there's a point where he cuts to the clips of Gangnam Style, to explain his theories, mm-hmm. but they're not actually clips. He took his camera and he pointed it at the screen, so it's just a still image of the video, and he's using a stylus to point out
that's cool.
all his theories, and it's fucking hilarious.
Well, I'm
at
happy.
one point,
I bet Sai is happy that someone's finally cracked the meaning of that music video.
Yeah,
Because when an artist makes something, they have a vision in their head, and so often people miss it. But I bet that was exactly what Sai was going for. So.
You know what? It was just, and I guess that leads into my question then. What is the most batshit insane video that you've ever seen? Because I've seen you guys have favorited a lot of crazy videos on your personal channels that I love. So what of all those is your favorite?
For me, there's one when Obama won his second term. A woman posted a video where she had the camera covered and would not reveal herself.
Oh yeah.
Fuck you! What the fuck are you doing? Fuck you! I can't believe you said you could spread the word on Facebook and you fucking didn't. She's so mad that everyone voted for Obama. Mm-hmm. And it's a 25-minute video.
Jesus.
And it's her smoking cigarettes and she won't show herself. It's just black. Every now and then she'll turn it on to show, oh, here's the stats. It was as the election was ending.
Oh man.
And you just put it on while you work, and you feel so much better about yourself. It's great.
There's one YouTube user named RefBotch, or I think her account's been deleted. Whatever. There's this woman out there named RefBotch, and I think she has something 12,000 YouTube videos.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
And they're all 6-second clips of her just I'm Russian, and she's in Russia. She's not speaking Russian. She's not speaking English. She's just screaming gibberish, and it's crazy. But I mean. She has mental problems, so you can't. I mean, it's but it's so it's bad to pick that. I mean, Septic 5 is crazy.
Yeah,
because people have sexual fetishes, whatever. But that is such a fucking extreme fulfillment of that.
Yeah.
Because even if you're if you have a piss or shit fest, you shit whatever, but to actually go to that fucking level to get a fucking that guy was so happy, and then to film it. That's just, think of that. There's so many crazy, fucked up shit out there, but only like 1% of it is filmed. And for it to even like get onto YouTube, like so many levels, and that like I mean that's just a taste of the world. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess Septic, cause like Septic 5, cause like Ref Botch like that she's like sick, whereas Septic 5 is like that's just fucking going for it.
Yeah. Kevin, what about you?
I can't they've named a lot of the insane. There's that one guy who everybody kept thinking everybody was CIA agents. Remember that?
Yeah, I mean but that's just people who are sick. So it's like
they're just insane people who have a camera and a YouTube account, and it's just you run across it.
Yeah. Oh, there's one video on the internet. I don't know what it's called, but there's this video of a guy he starts filming. There's a naked fat woman lying on the street.
I remember that.
All of a sudden, she leaps up, and it's like 20. She's like on meth, and she starts screaming, running at a car. Like it's some fat naked lady just chasing on meth. Cars, it's insane. I think it's like fat lady on PCP. I don't know. It's just like but like the reason it's so crazy, it looks like it's from a zombie movie. It is like the most feral I've ever seen a human. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that actually was it like kind of like something like PCP woman or something like that?
Probably, yeah. And it starts with a dude like peeking through a screen door, and it's like terrifying. Yeah. But yeah, people are asking Ref Botch, REFBATCH. It's just like when we first discovered, it's like the Blair Witch has a YouTube account. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think also there's a video, Rocco, that you favorited recently. That's called Fred Animated.
Yeah, I was thinking of that one too. It's an out of focus shot of a kid going like it's a little kid. Hey, you little dick! Shove a dick in your mom's ass, you piece of shit!
Oh, that sounds
picking
great.
on that poor boy. It's him going. Yeah. I love that video.
Oh, in terms of crazy people, I mean he's not on YouTube anymore, but UFO Hunter Vlog, whatever. That Puerto Rican dude named Hunter who I think his account NASA got him. But this guy, if you didn't know it, he made like 100 videos all called "Fuck NASA," and he was some extreme conspiracy theory nut. But all of his videos was, "Yo, what's up? This is Hunter," and I just want to say, "Fuck NASA." It's just like I don't know why some guy has a vendetta against NASA, the most like harmless and like beneficial like agency to like spread like mankind's like they're a good thing, and he just fucking hates them. It's so funny.
The biggest disappointment of that he's gone to is on his account. He got Dominic Moynihan and a couple other big actors to say that, and it's Dominic Moynihan clearly sees how ridiculous this is, and he's going, "Hey, I'm here to say fuck NASA. We're truth seekers. We don't want no more bullshit." And it's just Dominic Moynihan having a good time. It was really good.
And like it's the thing where that guy's crazy, but like he's harmless. Like he's not gonna. It's just like, and so it was funny. Like his videos were really funny. Fuck NASA. Fuck NASA. It's like the thick accent. I love it. Fuck NASA. And like you still see that on a lot of like random comments. People always write fuck NASA. It's great. I love it. Fuck NASA.
Yeah. Plus, fuck NASA led to like one of the greatest moments in Mega64 Podcast history, and that's Frank when you say that at the end of Christmas Cast in 2011, and then immediately you start vomiting all over the place. That was fucking great.
Yeah, man, dude, fuck NASA's over 2 years old.
Is it really?
Yeah, man.
Holy shit.
Fuck NASA.
All right. Well, I just want to say one more thing. I recently bought the Mega64 Mind Control hoodie.
Hell yeah,
cool.
That's probably the best
sick
piece of clothing you guys have ever made.
Nice.
Every person that has like seen me wear it, they're like, "Oh, that's really great," and they have no idea what Mega64 is.
Yeah.
And they love it.
Very cool. Well, that's great to hear. That's what we're going for. We want something anybody could enjoy.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Moms, dads, grandmas.
Exactly.
And also, I will be at RTX this year.
Oh, nice.
And I think I mentioned it before. And this is going to be actually my first Mega64 panel that I'm ever going to be at.
Oh, well, you're in for a treat, I hope.
Now, are all three of you going to be there?
I won't. I'm going to MX, but all 4 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be there.
Kevin, are you going to be there?
Possibly.
Okay.
I'm going to definitely try to go to 2014 RTX. I really want to go to Austin. I've never been to Texas, so I'll definitely try to go next year.
Yeah, I've never been to Texas either, so I guess sort of similar to Dr. Ryan, this is going to be a whole new experience for me, and I can't wait. So.
But on the wait, where do you live?
I live actually right now. I'm going to college I'm going to NYU in New York City.
Oh, okay.
So.
The reason why I really want to go to Austin is there's Alamo Drafthouse. But the good
Exactly.
news is they're expanding. And they're building an Alamo Drafthouse in New York City.
they're building
there's rumors of LA.
Yeah, and they're looking, they're just
Hell
looking,
yeah.
So they're finally expanding, which is awesome. Because like that's
I'll
a
be
theater,
hitting that a lot.
that's a theater chain that gets it. And also Alamo Drafthouse last year, they finally started their own distribution arm. So they're picking movies. Yeah, they have like 10. They're like a new Criterion.
Wow.
So they have like 10 movies out so far.
Alamo Drafthouse, above all else, it's like, you know, there's people who generally like it because, hey, I can go and get a beer and watch a movie, and that's great. And that's totally good. But yeah, their food is good. It's great. Like, that's a good experience. But on top of all that, again, in the lobby, there was a store that just sold like movie memorabilia.
Yeah, it's people who love
that.
movies.
Was cool. Oh, is that a limited print for The Godfather? Hell yeah, give me that. Okay, great.
Yeah.
But and above all else, the movies, they keep them in. They are displayed in the best quality possible, the best sound possible. They don't let shit lapse there.
Yeah.
So above everything else in the experience, you know you're getting the best presentation.
Yeah.
Because that's what I am picky over. When I see something that it's like, I feel like they're fucking this up, that will like kind of wreck it for me.
That's the one thing that's
I'm
great
picky
about like,
that.
have you seen movies at ArcLight?
Oh, yeah,
It's
ArcLight is
like,
great, yeah.
Holy shit, yeah. It's just the same thing.
Yeah. We just got an ArcLight here.
Oh, yeah, in La Jolla.
In La Jolla, yeah. I have to check that out.
Yeah, dude.
I gotta see the crudes. Anyway.
Yeah.
Doesn't Alamo Drafthouse have like a really strict like no talking, no cell phone policy too?
With the cell phones, they don't want you
Yeah.
texting or calling during the movie.
They have
they'll
like
kick you
separate
out.
screen, like they know for like I mean, there's like midnight screenings where it's like you can talk, you know, but like they're smart about it. It's according to certain things.
Yeah,
But yeah, they have a no texting policy, which is amazing.
They have a great video on YouTube of a woman who complained.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I don't know, for some reason I saw that video because I was actually linked to that video because I was watching another video and it was about this sorority girl like letter that got leaked. Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Michael Shannon.
Yeah, that video. Hey, that's something that didn't seem like it was going to be like. It didn't strike me as this will be that funny, you know, whatever. And I was wrong. That was such a good video.
Yeah,
I thought. And I thought the editing is what made it too. Like they could have just filmed the guy reading it and be done, but the editing enhanced it and the way he delivered it. I loved that video.
And I love Michael Shannon as an actor. I think
me too.
He's incredible. I loved him in Revolutionary Road, and he's going to be Zod in Man of Steel.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the reason why I'm sort of like going to see Man of Steel is Michael Shannon.
He's great in Take
Above all
Shelter
else.
too.
I'm just now lately I've been finally getting HBO Go going and watching Boardwalk Empire season 3.
Yes, that's right.
I'd seen 1 and 2, but I hadn't seen 3, and so I was just watching him hours ago.
What?
Are you guys? Is that like all you guys? Do you guys watch like a lot of HBO or
No,
no?
I've only seen like a few series. Like Mr. Show, Bob and David's one of my all-time favorite
Yeah,
shows. I don't follow anything.
In all seriousness, I seriously love Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah, me too.
I also watch True Blood, but that is not a like. I'm cracking up as I'm watching it, but I have a good time watching it. But I watch it the same way I watch Degrassi. It's got great continuity, but it's bullshitty. It's not like people tell me all the time how stupid it is, and it's like, well, yeah, no, I have no argument. But it's fun to watch to me. It's comic booky bullshit to me. I love it for that reason. But I'm not into Game of Thrones, not into any of that stuff. And I was gonna say this before because I always get a lot of emails that are like, "What the hell? You said Game of Thrones is boring," all this other stuff. I want everyone to keep in mind here. I only really I am into so few TV shows.
Yeah, same.
That I'm not the best judge. So take it for what it's worth when I say I don't like a show. Because seriously, like, I really loved, when I was a kid, I loved Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I loved the Wonder Years growing up. I did not like a show again until, that was what, 94? And then the next show I liked, I also really liked around that time, Earth 2. That a random ass show about trying to find another Earth.
I remember watching that.
Yes, I enjoyed that show because it had a mythology to it. It was like, what are we finding? Yeah. Like, it looks totally like Earth, and then like a guy comes out of the ground. What is that? And that was the best thing to Lost. I didn't enjoy a show again until Lost, 2004. So we're talking 10 years later. That was also when I discovered The Sopranos. Those are shows that I love. They're in my top 5 shows. Since that, nothing. I'm really liking Boardwalk Empire. Do I like as much as those? I don't really know about that. But I'm into a show every like 8 years. It's really not. So when I say I don't like Game of Thrones, look who's saying it. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought Game of Thrones was boring. I watched that Louis show. I hated that. There's all these beloved shows, and I'll tell you, I fucking hate them. But I'm telling you, I have fucked up stupid taste in TV. So I'm letting you know. I'm acknowledging it.
No, I have no problem with that. I really don't, because I'll be the first one to admit, I love Game of Thrones. I love Louis. I love Breaking Bad. But I have no problem that you don't like that. I mean, different strokes for different folks. I really have no.
I always try to watch shows that people tell me are super significant or whatever, but it's so hard. That is just not something I'm into. It's very rare for me. I don't know what it is. I'm like that with comics too, though. I look at myself and I feel like you'd be a comic guy, Rocco, and I'm not into comics either. I'm the same way. I don't know. It just doesn't. Mm-hmm. But then every now and then there's something that's like, whoa, I need to get this.
That's because reading is dumb.
Yeah, reading
sucks.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know.
No, that's totally fine. I mean, I feel like a lot of people just sort of, especially like the internet culture, it's very easy if something's so beloved. If you know someone that doesn't like it,
it's crazy
you
how
easily
defensive
pounce on them. And it's just, I don't think that's fair.
Yeah. I will say, having said I wasn't into Game of Thrones, I don't really care about that, in general. But I will say, as someone who doesn't care about it, it sucks that every video game news site writes about it like it's a video game.
Huh.
Really?
I feel like every game news site I go to, it's, here's a big thing about, what do you think about this in Game of Thrones? I don't know. I'm here to read about Nintendo. I don't, like, what? I feel like I have to see that every single day. What's that?
Yeah. They made a really terrible Game of Thrones video game.
I heard about that.
I played it for probably an hour, because I was really into the show. And it came out around I think, beginning of the second season. And it was fucking terrible. It reminded me a lot like the Lost video game, Lost Via Dovis.
But I will say what I could enjoy about the Lost game was getting to walk around in the locations. Was like, oh, neat.
Yeah, dude.
Wow, they did this to a T. That's great. Anything else is bad.
That's what the Beavis and Bunny game was like too.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a clip that you favorited.
Someone
two
opened up
clips.
IGN.
That with Locke. The guy who voiced Locke, bless his heart, did it so bad, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was a Native American guy telling you he's in the banyan trees. Hey son, I'm in the banyan trees.
And then someone edited it, I believe, with the opening of the pilot to tell Jack, come over to the banyan tree.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Jack waking up. Have you seen this? My favorite is Jack waking up in the bamboo forest and someone, hey, I'm over here in the banyan trees. That was killing me. That was so good.
That was so great. And the other thing is, Lost is still, it's been almost 3 years since Lost ended, and that's still my favorite show.
Yeah, and it took a while for me to realize it, but that's my favorite show of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I used to struggle with other shows maybe being up there, but Lost just combines. I'm a sap for, it's got that sentimentality that I just, love it or hate it, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's sappy, but hey, I'm a sucker for it. That sentimentality mixed with, and it's all the poignant moments, whatever, but mixed with the sci-fi to the extreme. But above all else, it was a place that didn't exist before. It wasn't. It didn't turn into fucking aliens. It wasn't vampires or robots. It was something and a place that didn't exist and only exists in that place, and that was extremely special to me. But also the stuff that it tackled, just that that was important to me. But man, my number 2 show, I'd have to say,
Sopranos.
Is either Wonder Years or something else. But the Wonder Years really taps into that sentimentality that I like.
The Wonder Years is one of the best shows ever.
I love that show.
Wonder Years, Twilight Zone, Lost. You know what? It's not like a show. It's a show that is very important to me, but it's not like the story. But South Park is a show that totally changed who I am.
Yeah.
But as for TV right now, I am watching Game of Thrones. I fucking love it. The only problem is that it's only an hour, and there's so many characters I just care about. That it's hard to spend a lot of time on each character, but I'm really enjoying the season. If you want a new show, I said before, but House of Cards on Netflix, really, if you enjoy The Sopranos at all on any level, I say give it a shot. Maybe I'm crazy for comparing the two.
I still need to try it.
But I really think that the character is such a strong male lead who is on the line of you love him, but you really you just do these things. The character is it reminded me of Tony Soprano in the sense of, I love you, but please stop fucking up and doing these things because I love you.
Yeah, totally.
And that was the reason why. It's the only reason why I compare it, because it's not at all mafia stuff, or whatever. But
No. But that was one of the biggest aspects of The Sopranos.
Right, and I got that same feeling watching this.
Yeah.
So
one of the reasons I love The Sopranos so much, I love characters that walk the edge of are you good or bad, down to Darth Vader. That's why he's one of my favorite film characters, is because he's someone hidden behind a black mask, and you want there to be a good guy in there. Is there? No, he's not. He was. I don't know. And just even down to when I was young, I saw that and thought, that's the best kind of character. And Tony Soprano walks that better than anybody, where I want to like you.
And I'm not saying it's not this. It's not.
Sure.
And I honestly can't even recommend you the show, Rocco, because it's so hard to tell which TV shows.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason.
You may say I'm an idiot for liking the show, but I really, really liked it, and
I'll check that out next when I'm done with Boardwalk Empire.
Okay, and let me think. I'm watching some other shows too. I'm so excited for Arrested Development to come back.
Yeah.
Me too.
And it's so funny because they've had these things where you would see, oh, it's gonna come back, oh, it's here, whatever, and it was always I've heard this so many times, so many years, whatever. I got a copy of Entertainment Weekly, and it was Jason Bateman, Michael Cera, and Will Arnett standing on the stair car with a hook hanging from the railing, and it's whoa.
Yeah. It's real.
It became real in that moment to me, and it's oh, dude, this is less than a month away.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm watching that. Obviously, It's Always Sunny, I think, it's hit or miss, but lately it's been really good.
Yeah, definitely.
And shoot, what else? I'm watching a lot of TV lately. Dude, Jeopardy! Alex Trebek is fucking on his A game right now, so check that out.
He's still alive?
Yeah, he's gonna retire soon.
I was gonna say, how's he still?
That's over. They won't come back. They can't.
They will for a little bit.
They will.
No, they will, but yeah.
But as I was saying before, Alex Trebek is the perfect host because I feel like he already knows these questions he's asking you.
Exactly.
And if I get Cedric the Entertainer...
Is that what they're saying?
No.
Yeah, but
no, it's Eddie Murphy.
Steve Harvey.
Actually, I think Cedric the Entertainer is the new Wants to Be a Millionaire.
You know what I heard? Now this
I have no idea.
I
didn't even know that
could
was
be
the
wrong. I heard they're thinking about Matt Lauer to replace Alex Trebek. But I don't
Yeah,
know
I've
if
heard
Matt
that
Lauer
too.
knows these things. Alex Trebek knows
I
these
don't know
things.
about
It's
that.
Alex Trebek or nothing, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So,
And it's funny because he wasn't even the first host. But
I know.
Jeopardy.
But, in my lifetime he is, right? Maybe. I don't know.
No, we were alive when they changed, but very young. That must have
we were-
been 86 or something.
Oh, okay, so I was 2, so I wasn't watching. But anyways, that's what I'm watching. Oh,
Nice.
and you know what? Another show that I like that it's a reality TV show is Deadliest Catch. But I look at it as, again, it's like a documentary following these guys trying to catch crab, and that's interesting to me.
Absolutely. I actually saw a presentation where the editors for that show talked about how they edited an episode.
Oh, really?
And it was really interesting because they talked about the episode where actually the fish captain, he's in the hospital and how they
when he died?
and how they sort of dealt with that and editing that to make it not seem manipulative and everything.
Right.
Like so many reality shows do, unfortunately.
Right.
That sort of stuff.
I saw
And
a
it was really
documentary
fascinating.
on how they filmed that show. And I love it when it goes to that, because it's now that I film things all the time, how do you film that?
Yeah.
And it was crazy seeing the behind the scenes and those fucking poor guys who film it. The crew hates them. They're up.
Yeah.
They're up as long as the crew is. So sometimes they're working 48-hour shifts filming.
Fuck.
And the boats, the one that I saw, the guy had to be airlifted off because he got so violently seasick he couldn't handle it, and they had to get him off the boat because he was ruining things for them. So it's just crazy what that show is to me.
No, it's a great show.
Good show. There's some TV talk, and obviously The Office, best show on TV.
Yeah. I actually wanted to go back to one thing you said though, Rocco, about Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And about your film character. I have similar thoughts because the one thing that just sort of pissed me off so much is that in 5 and 6 and even 4 of Star Wars, like Darth Vader is sort of this morally ambiguous character. Seemingly, he doesn't really fight for the Empire. Almost it seems he's just sort of his own thing, and that's why I sort of hated in 6 where like George Lucas gave him the no at the end.
Oh yeah, no, totally. That's one of my favorite scenes in a movie because
me too.
You have him looking at what to do, and his mask hasn't changed since it has been in the other movies. But suddenly, in that moment, he looks like a wide-eyed boy, and it's like, wow, for that to work and not change anything, that's an incredible movie moment, and he makes a silent sacrifice, and I think that yelling no is just like childish. I don't know.
And it sort of makes you wonder: does George Lucas understand his own movies?
Nah, I don't know.
Or does he care?
I don't really know if he cares or understands. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just sort of bizarre, and I'm sort of my expectations for like the new movies are very low, so I'm going in pretty much no expectations. But I'm really afraid that they're going to retread the whole Darth Vader thing again. Like,
yeah, I just don't want them to bring. There were rumors they would bring Vader back, and it's like,
God,
man, I don't think that's smart. I don't think that's good.
Like I feel like the next movie trilogy should focus on the children because I think that could be a good story. You know, keep all the old characters to the side and focus on the new generation.
I feel like the old characters can stick. The old protagonists, we could see their final days, and that might be interesting. But why retread an old villain? You know, that's where I see. I just feel like that is dealt with.
Exactly, and but I feel like though Michael Arndt though I feel like he is like a really good choice. Like I was initially like a bit wary that who's gonna write this? Is it gonna be like the guy who wrote like I don't know the fucking Transformers movies or something? I mean, I don't know, but Michael Arndt like he wrote Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah.
He wrote Toy Story 3. And he like apparently like is a Star Wars expert.
Yeah.
Which like he knows like exactly why the screenplay for the first Star Wars is so good. So I feel like I have so much confidence in him. And I mean, he's like one of my favorite screenwriters, really. And he's just I think he's a perfect choice. But I
do too, absolutely.
Well, I mean, but J.J. Abrams, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like J.J. I think he's just like one of the best commercial directors. But I mean, what do you guys think about that?
I mean, he made one of the best Star Wars movies in years by making Star Trek.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he wanted to do. Now that he has Star Wars, I have all the confidence in the world he can make a good movie, but to me it just sucks because I feel like one of them will suffer, and I feel like is Star Trek over? Like, I guess will they make a good third one? I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know how to feel about that, but he's good, so who knows?
Mm-hmm. Frank, what do you think? I mean, I know you're a big film guy as well. I mean,
about Star Wars or TV?
I mean, Star Wars. I mean, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I've never been a big Star Wars fan. I mean, I like Knights of the Old Republic better than any of the movies.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I'll see the new Star Wars movie. Cool. I mean, I hope it's good.
Yeah, I mean hey, I love Star Wars. That's I mean, look at my damn shirt. But that's the most expectation I have.
Like, I'll see it.
Yeah, okay.
Because like it's not like. Because of the level of like, it's not going to be atrocious. I can't imagine, you know.
No, if he's involved,
There's
will
no,
be. It's going to be all right.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
But,
I'm not expecting like anything great. I hope it's good, but like, I'll just walk in like, oh, here's the new Star Wars, cool.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like a 2-hour and $10 commitment. It's not going to be bad. Like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I watched Star Wars recently. I really liked it, and I've never seen a J.J. Abrams movie, so that's
Really?
why I stand on it.
Although, holy fuck, can you imagine like the day the first teaser comes out? The internet's gonna like explode. Like, that's gonna get 1 billion hits.
Oh yeah. The Gangnam Style look like shit.
Yeah. Once like Star Wars. If you make a video called Star Wars 7 trailer,
dude, I'm gonna just upload all my videos all week.
Everything called Star Wars 7 teaser.
Yeah.
Oh, I gave that idea out for free. I should have fucked, dude. I could have made $1 million.
Hey, you could still do it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Kevin, I want to say, if you've never seen a J.J. Abrams movie, I'm actually going to recommend the first one you should watch is Mission Impossible 3.
Okay.
Surprisingly, I went into that movie like having seen the first 2 Mission Impossible movies, and they weren't that great. But the third one, I think the actor that makes that movie is Philip Seymour Hoffman. I legitimately think he is fantastic.
I didn't even realize he was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, what's weird is that I actually met Philip Seymour Hoffman last week.
Whoa.
Really?
And yeah, I'm in. It's sort of weird, but I'm in sort of like this group in NYU. This sort of like
Oh, okay.
this is called the Tisch group, the Tisch Dean group, and Philip Seymour Hoffman came to talk to us, and he talked about his career and stuff, and he talked about working on Mission Impossible 3, and it was really fascinating because for him, like he would be getting a lot of money. It was basically a commercial job, but he had a lot of respect for J.J. Abrams, and he said like the script and J.J. were the things that attracted to him, and he said the most important thing is always like, if you're working with a director, is always try to work with someone that you know is you're gonna like to work with, because he said there's nothing more miserable than working with a director on a project that you're just sort of really going for the money for. That sucks. Like he talked about working on Patch Adams. And, the director would like do like one take, and then he'd be like, let's move on. And then Philip Seymour Hoffman was like, that was fucking horrible. Let's not move on. Let's do it again. And the director was like, and then literally said, like, guess I'm trapped in a shitty movie. And he was so real. And I guess to lead to that, then, have you guys like, I know you guys met Kevin Smith once, right?
Me and Sean did. Have you ever met him?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, how was that experience? You guys never really talked about that too much, I think. On the
Yeah,
podcast.
I meant to show we have a bunch of footage from that day, but he was totally cool. I can't speak for your experience. I don't know what happened with you, but with me and Sean it was the anniversary of Mallrats. They had some thing at his store.
Oh, yeah.
And we got invited by one of the guys at our friend Leroy at No Mercy was like, hey, I'm like getting into this thing. I can get you in if you want. I was like, yeah. So we went, and it was really cool. And I was there, and I had a video camera, and I was like, hey, do you mind saying something? We got a show called Mega64. Do you mind saying something? He's like, yeah, turn on the camera. I was like, thank you so much. And he talked about how he jerked off to Mega64 like all the time. Like he was like, yeah, I can't help it. I get fucking boner. I'm just like, whatever. It was like, I don't know how much of this we can use, but thank you. I mean, it was like cool, whatever. Yeah, he was super nice guy.
Are you guys a fan of his movies? I mean, most of his movies?
I like his original movie. I mean, yeah. I don't really care about all these like podcasts and stuff that he's doing. I don't really like that, but I like his movie still. Even like Red State was, like the best movie ever. But I for what it was, I enjoyed it.
What I love about Kevin Smith and like will always respect, is just the fact that like he was a kid who grew up who loved movies, and then one day he realized, oh, I can do this. Yeah. And he did it. And he just like was one of the first people in the indie boom just to be like, hey, we can all do this. And he just set a path for everyone just to do stuff. Like with everyone, it's that same attitude, like, hey, we can do this too.
Just do it.
And so I read his book, it's called Tough Shit. And it's just a book that talks about his whole experiences like of working up through the film industry, and it's a really great book.
I've read a couple of his books.
Too. I mean, so I really love and respect Kevin Smith. I mean, like in terms of a filmmaker, it's like he's not Stanley Kubrick, but it's like I like for what they are, it's great. It's just the idea of it's literally him and his friends making stuff.
And what I respect too is that he has never pursued a Hollywood style budget.
Yeah.
Even Clerks 2 had a big cult following, and he could have gone as big and bold as he wanted to with it, and it's not like it would have been $100 million movie, but he said, no. They were offering him, what do you want, 20, 30, and do it, and he said, no, give me 5. Yeah. He made that movie for $5 million because he's just like, hey, I want it to be my thing. With that little amount of money, I'm nothing in the studio's eye, so they're not going to mess with the movie. They don't care. Yeah. So, why do we need $30 million to get this done? $5 million, we'll rent this fast food place, and we do it, and that's it. And I love that mentality of cutting out extraneous bullshit. Yeah. All they did is there's a motel right outside. You could see it in the movie. Motel right outside the fast food place. They booked a bunch of the rooms so actors could stay there. and they used those as their makeup room. They did everything out of those rooms, and they filmed in the restaurant, and that was it. And that was all you needed for that movie, and it was great, and it made the most of that. Yeah. That's what I like. People always ask, like, what could you do with a big budget? Yeah, hey, Rocco, if you had a huge budget, what would you film? And I don't even think that way. I just don't care. To me, I would rather spend, $1 million, and I'll give you Star Wars for $1 million. I just feel like I'll give you something that will make the most out of. I like things that make the most out of stuff rather than extravagance.
There's this Danny Boyle quote that's really great, and like it's something about like with budget. He says like, it's not your budget. You shouldn't aim for an infinite budget. You should have infinite ambition. Yeah, like it's not the budget that matters; it's the ambition.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So for that, I appreciate him. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess speaking on filmmakers that have made really great stuff out of small budgets. Are you guys a fan or do you know of Red Letter Media?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, I know of them, but I haven't seen anything they've done.
Do you know their Plinkett reviews of the Star Wars prequels?
The one that, like episode 1 that went on really long or whatever.
Yeah.
I have heard that. I think I don't know if I ever finished it. No, I must have done that a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. What I love about their reviews is they also do this series called Hat in the Bag, where they review movies like every couple of weeks. What's really interesting about them is that they don't just, unlike a lot of, internet movie reviewers, which sort of like glance over like the filmmaking techniques. They actually similar to what you guys do when you talk about movies, that they actually go into like the filmmaking techniques of like, the editing of this movie was great, or the editing of this movie sucked, and this is why it sucked, or the camera movements, the lighting. And they add, not only that, they add, humor and a little bit of a storyline. And for me, it's just, they do this on such a low budget, less than, they made their latest movie, which is called Feeding Frenzy, for, I think, $10,000. It was, an insanely small amount. But it's really funny. And I feel like for them, it's sort of they actually... I don't know. They sort of, you guys and them just sort of inspire me that cool. For a student, for me who's a student filmmaker who doesn't have access to a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
I realize I can make something great, something that really can touch people or make them laugh, on such a small budget.
Yeah.
I think the versions, I think version 3 is those last 3 episodes are some of the best amateur. I don't know. It's sort of, I don't know. I feel like it's bad calling you guys amateurs because you're not.
No, I know what you mean though. Yeah.
But I feel like you guys are I don't know. Just you guys really inspired me those last 3 episodes because
thank you.
They're so high quality. And I think the musical episode, to me, I know a lot of people said this, but the musical episode is absolutely incredible.
Oh,
with
thank you.
Just the choreography for all those songs.
Yeah.
How long did that take to do all? I mean, that must have been
to write the songs, or
no, to shoot, choreograph everything and shoot.
That episode took a while. We started it at the end of 2008 through the spring of 2009 because it was just so many different setups that it just took a while between other stuff we were doing too. So, I don't know. It took us... That episode took, I want to say... But the thing is, we weren't working on it every day.
Yeah.
So I want to... it probably took 6 months, but it wasn't every day of 6 months. It's it was we'd work on it 5 days in a week and then not come back to it for 3 weeks, and stuff like that. So, But overall, probably 6 months. I will say, though, that the budget of probably all those episodes, those last 3, even all of version 3, I don't even think that was $10,000. That was done. I approach, and maybe it's not smart, but I approach budget with stuff. I've never let anything, if I want, I don't know, the way that my brain is, the stuff that I want, I don't feel like it's not attainable. Mm. And the stuff that is, I'll do what I can to get it. And if I can't, whatever. But I approach, a lot of people say, when you make a film, make a budget. And I just feel like that kills the fun. And I know this doesn't sound professional, but I feel like, no, don't spend money until it comes down to the wire. How great would it be if you had this?
Yeah.
and then I just feel like you know. You know what I mean? It's like
Exactly.
we're doing this episode about the wizard or whatever, and it really didn't cost us much, and it's like, what if he went so crazy he smashed a car? Yeah, what would that take? Don't we know somebody who works at a used car lot or something? I wonder if they have something really cheap. And then we hit them up. Wow, for $300 they do. Is it worth the $300? To me, is it worth $300 that everyone will talk about that scene? Yes, it is. That's what it's worth to me. Okay. I think that's probably the only thing we spent money on in that episode. So, okay, that episode cost $300. And it's like, that to me is worth it. There's other episodes that cost $10, and then, there's stuff in the last episode that cost a lot, But, like, I just feel like, don't seek out to spend money. Spend it where it's gonna it's gonna give you value. We took a shit on a PSP in a video. It was a brand new PSP, and we broke it, and people were like, "Oh, how could you do that?" And it's like, because we don't spend money otherwise. Everything else in this video costs $0. But was it worth $200 that you talked about it and it got posted on every site?
Yeah.
With people going, "Can you believe this?" That was worth $200. Because then the next 10 videos we didn't spend a dime on, but we got way more views and way more attention, So I just feel like if you're logical, look at it, ballpark it. I don't feel like make a table. Well, we can't get this now because we've spent this much on food. Fuck that. You know what you're doing, and if you don't, throw your fucking camera away.
Exactly.
Throw it in the river. That's
Frank,
how I feel. I don't know.
No, absolutely. I 100% agree. And Frank, do you have a similar mentality? Because I think besides Mega64 and other media, I know this is your videos, your evolution from to the early 2008, 2009 to now.
Yeah.
I think the Math the Band videos that you shot.
Yeah.
And even the otaku documentary you made.
Yeah.
Two of my favorite videos.
Yeah.
Not
I mean
just Mega64 related, just ever. I think it's so well done.
Like the Math the Band music video, what? I don't, I can't even imagine. I think we bought balloons for $5. I mean, yeah, it's that thing with Raw. It's like when you plan stuff, it's all about your. I don't think about money and It's just like, all right, what do I want? Okay, this
Cross
works.
that bridge when it comes to it.
Exactly. The Otaku, which is a 12-minute short film. We had to buy wings, so that's $10.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had to buy an arcade card so I can play DDR. That's $5.
Yeah.
So I think $15. It's just
I find that if you don't set a budget, if you set a budget, then you're doing that. I feel like if you don't, I feel like use street smarts. I know it sounds goofy, but seriously, I know people who, I've set aside, I don't have a lot, but I've set aside a few thousand for locations. To me, fuck that. Don't write that down. Go film at the location you want. Oh, we got in trouble. Cross that bridge when it comes to it.
Yeah.
We want to film in this parking lot. Just go do it. Oh, they won't let us. Well, work it out. Well, then at that point, either look into another spot or can you pay them? Then at that point, maybe then money comes into it. But don't plan to pay. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Really, it's just the transition of old filmmaking to new filmmaking.
Yeah.
This new dawn of internet age. It's all that. It's that. But there's people who with the internet age, it's just they are taught from this old school mentality.
Exactly.
But as people advance, that's just the way we make films. That's the future of filmmaking.
All I can say is I see all these big productions and big projects and big personalities out there, whether they're on YouTube or on just online in general, and I always hear about how they, we did Kickstarter. Check it out. We got 50 grand for getting all these locations. We got this and that. And maybe I'm not even saying my stuff is as good as anybody's out there, but I will say that we worked on a ton of big stuff last year for television and for major companies. We filmed in a massive theater. We filmed in restaurants. We filmed in all these different locations, offices, all these boardroom, that, whatever. How much did we spend on locations? Not in 2012. Not $1 was spent on a location in Mega64.
Wow, that's awesome.
Now there's other stuff. There's other stuff we've spent money on. Whatever. It all balances out sometimes. But in locations, just go do it, and if it doesn't work, cross the bridge when it comes to it. But zero.
Yeah, was the the ones you did for Kojima in 2011, 2012, did those like cost, I guess, a fair amount? Not to like bring up exact amounts, but did those cost money?
Again, there's stuff that did, but I will say in locations we still just got crafty. It wasn't. It wasn't a matter of renting things out or whatever. And again, I'm not against that. If you have to do it, then so be it, and you have to look into it. But that was even despite how we, despite the stakes of those things where we had to work on stuff, at a on a little more professional level or whatever, we still didn't think of it that way. Well, we got to rent this place out, or we got to do something like it. No, it was, just show up and keep it simple. Don't have 80 people. Yeah. Have it be a couple people. And once you break it down like that, it's easy too. Hey, we're a couple people with a camera. Is that cool? Mm-hmm. Cool. And 90% of the time, go ahead. And if you're not a dick, they'll let you do it.
The coolest the coolest story I have from about just using a location is in the Otaku. There's a scene where we have to go to an arcade and there's a date at an arcade. Yeah. We just go, it's me, the girl, and then my friend who is the cameraman. We show up, we do the whole scene. It took 30 minutes of filming. Yeah. As we're walking out of the arcade, a whole security team comes on. You can't film here. Okay, I'm sorry, we're leaving. We had already gone, filmed everything we needed, and walked out. And if we had gotten, and I already had backup plans. If we couldn't film at that arcade, I knew another arcade that had DVR. Just go in, do it. Just go in and get out.
And also, a lot of times, just do it, like you said. Yeah. Still something that I laugh about to this day is there's an entire scene in version 2 in the episode where the man snake and the man possum meet each other. Horatio and they all meet each other. Mm-hmm. It's this area where whatever that was shot at the front steps of a major college in San Diego. I'm not going to say which one, but it was shot at a major college just at the front entrance. There were people everywhere, and we just went, well, what are they going to do? Yeah, they're not going to shoot us. Those steps are that's the perfect location. So we went there, set up lights, camera, and everything, and nobody at any point ever shut us down. We just did it. And what would have happened if they shut us down? Oh, well, okay.
Yeah. And another thing is just confident. If you just act like you're supposed to be.
Act like you know what you're doing. Yeah. That's a big thing, too. And I wanted to bring that up on the podcast since we went to the Pamu show. Yeah. A bunch of us did not have tickets to the pit. However that worked. Did not have pit tickets. You had to show them. They had to scan, check all your information, and then give you a wristband for that. We just walked up, acted like we knew what we were doing, and the guy was like, "Yeah, okay," and then put the wristband on. And I just thought to myself, man, 90% of what I've done in my life is just acting like not even knowing what I'm doing, but just acting like it. Yeah, it was metaphorical of a bigger thing, I guess.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that mentality you talked about is incredibly important for young filmmakers like me, because I'm actually taking, it's weird, because I'm taking a producing for film class, and literally everything you guys are saying, my teacher is saying the exact opposite. She's a pretty well-known producer. She produced an adaptation of Richard III in 1995 with Ian McKellen. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it's actually a really good movie. And she talks about how, you need to get a development budget, and then for that, you need to get, an option movie rights and plan it all out. And I think that works for a certain type of film, really. But I guess, the films that, I think this new generation is making, high-quality films, but extremely, low budget or no budget, I think your mentality is exactly right, I feel like.
No, different sorts for different folks, but that's what works for me.
Yeah.
But
I just want to actually, speaking of films and stuff, low budget films, I think a couple months ago Ryan Rosenblum called in about working on a Mega64 fan film about Falls, and I'm actually helping him out on it.
Oh, cool!
Helping him work on the script, and I'm going to be helping him put together a trailer, and I'm actually shooting a tie-in video for the first episode. And I guess the one thing that we've been struggling with the script is just I guess having characters that just I don't know, sound, don't sound real. Because there's one scene that takes place in a location. We really want to nail this dialogue. So I guess one of my questions is, like, when you guys are coming up with dialogue, do you, like, think about it a lot, or is it more improvised, like, on the spot?
Improvised.
Like, type of stuff?
Yeah, it's improvised. Yeah, with us.
Yeah.
That's one benefit of having known each other for so long. We know how we respond to each other, and we just, so we usually... we'll outline important things, but otherwise we just, we don't write lines of dialogue. We just don't.
Mm-hmm. And Frank, what about you?
I mean, for me, I write, like, everything I like, most of my stuff I do is scripted, but when it actually comes down, like, write it down and you just get it right. Like, when I write, I have, like, a conversation in my head with those characters to make it seem as natural. But then we're actually shooting the scene, when I direct my actors or whatever, I just want to sound as natural as possible.
Sure.
So the actual words aren't important as long as the action or whatever that meaning is conveyed. Because it's the way I speak is so different than the way anyone else speaks. So that I try to get natural, but ultimately, as long as it just feels natural. So if it isn't natural on the page, when you actually act it out, try to get it as natural as possible. And even Woody Allen does the same way. Woody Allen writes out his scripts, but then when he actually gives it to his actors on the day of their shoot, just says, like, just do whatever feels right for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's something else.
And then some people are on the other end. I know, because I now I really like. I told you, I like Kevin Smith's movies or whatever.
Yes.
But I don't agree with him because he talks about writing his stuff. He would get pissed when people improvised.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I wrote it that way to be that specific way.
Yeah.
And I get that if you're really into writing, but that's just not me. To me, it's like I would rather, as long as the idea is there.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
I changed, like, that. My thought was changed. I listened to Steven Pinker, who's, like, one of the leading, like, linguistics, like, scientists. So it's like all he does is study words in the brain. And he was talking about how, like, if you read something, you get the idea, but most people can't recall the exact wording, and ultimately the wording isn't that important. You know, like, unless it's an iconic tagline, but like in just conversation, the actual words don't matter. It's just conveying the idea.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I feel like I actually watched a behind-the-scenes documentary about Aaron Sorkin's screenplays, and about how he, like, refuses to have any of the dialogue, like, improvised, like, because I feel like, it really depends on the type of movie you're making.
I mean, it depends on the film, but I mean, it just always depends. It's just style.
Mm-hmm. And I guess to that end, a lot of my films, a lot of my style of humor in a lot of my films has actually sort of been influenced by you guys and by Red Letter Media. So I guess in this respect, I guess another question is just what has been, like, what were your influences? Like, I know you talked about what was it, Brandon D. Camillo, right? Was one of them.
Yeah.
And I think Tom Green.
Yeah.
Like, I guess in terms of, like, filmmaking, I guess, like, what else, like, what were your, in terms of directors, I guess, what were your influences?
I mean, for me, it's Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg?
Spielberg would have that sentimentality and stuff that I still try to every now and then sprinkle around, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not in everything we make, but that was a big inspiration to me. I don't know. Just putting it out there.
With two of my biggest influences. I mean, like, Mega64 is the reason why I started making videos. But two of my biggest influences came kind of late. When I finally watched all, like, the Whitest Kids You Know, the way they make their videos, they are so low budget, but they cheat all these locations and characters. I mean, it's very similar to Mega64, their style. Cool. But they cheat locations so well. And just the way they shoot their stuff and how snappy their editing is and all that. That's a huge influence on my style. That's cool. And then one of my favorite film, in terms of, like, style, my favorite filmmaker is this Japanese filmmaker named Sion Sono. And all of his stuff is really low budget, but it has this insane energy. And all of his films employ heavy use of sequence shots. In a lot of my own videos, I try to do that. I try to do everything, like, a lot of things in the fewest amount of takes as possible. Yeah. Just these long shots where the camera's always moving, because it's just really exciting. But a lot of Sono's just attitudes. It's the same thing with Mega64, just DIY filmmaking, no budget, just doing it with your friends, just getting it down. And I mean, I'm always studying films and filmmakers. Like, I'm obsessed with, like, I mean, there's Kubrick, but, like, even P.T. Anderson, all his methods. But in terms of biggest influence, Whitest Kids You Know, Sion Sono, and then even Woody Allen. Because Woody Allen started out as a stand-up comedian, but then he started from stand-up, he went to plays. He wrote, like, sketches. He did sketch comedy. And then from sketch comedy did features, and that's the same route I want to do. I want to like from sketch comedy to features.
Yeah.
And then there's Mega64, and then up in LA is this sketch comedy group called The Midnight Show, and they're also hugely influential on my sense of humor. I mean, they taught me how to write. I mean, one of them is like one of my best friends and my mentor. So it's just a combination. Basically, my videos is a combination of like The Midnight Show, Mega64, and then Whitest Kids, and then Asian cinema stuff. But The Midnight Show, they're a great group of sketch comedians up in LA, and I'm now directing videos for them.
Yeah, I
check
saw
them out on
one
YouTube.
of them that you directed. Did you direct the Spring Breakers parody?
Yeah, I did.
That was actually really good.
Yeah, thank you.
That was really good. I don't know. I mean, did you guys all see Spring Breakers or no?
I saw Spring Breakers twice in theaters.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I've seen like other films by Harmony Korine. I saw Kids.
Yeah.
And that's actually probably one of my favorite movies of all time, with just the way that he tackled that subject matter. I mean, do you guys like Harmony Korine? Like, what do you think of him as a director overall, I guess?
I mean, he's more of a provocateur than I feel like all of his, he just tries to pinpoint. I mean, Spring Breakers is just the perfect culmination. I mean, it's just neon and like, it's just excessive style. Like his other films aren't like that at all. I mean, Kids is cool, but he wrote it. He didn't direct it. If he directed it, it would have been way, I mean, it wouldn't have been as good as it was. Like the first film he directed, Gummo, is neat. I don't even say I enjoy Gummo. I mean, it exists as an experience. And even Trash Humpers. I mean, he's a true artist in the sense that you don't watch his films.
But I enjoy what he does. Yeah. Honestly, I didn't really like Spring Breakers, but I wouldn't say like he sucks.
Yeah, he's not someone to be dismissed.
And I wouldn't even say don't see that movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's how art is. Some works for you and some doesn't, you know. But I would still recommend it. Experience it for yourself, you know.
Yeah, I think he's a cool artist. Yeah, I don't like love. I mean, Spring Breakers is just like it hit all the right notes in me. I mean, it was but as far as his filmography, it's like okay. I mean, yeah, but I think he's a neat artist. Yeah,
but I feel that, I mean, not that this is even like the same filmmaking.
Yeah,
but I have the same opinion, or that's similar stuff that I say about like Paul Thomas Anderson and stuff. It's like it's not like The Master was my favorite movie.
Yeah.
But man, I appreciate that a movie like that got made.
Exactly, because it's someone
even if it wasn't my favorite movie, you know,
It's
I have
just-
to respect this guy for wow, he got this out there.
And he waited like years until he can make his own. You know, he got his thing.
Yeah, not that they're similar or whatever. I'm just saying like there's something to be respected about people who can at least make a mark that is very unique, you know, or whatever, regardless.
Yeah, I feel the same way about David Lynch in that respect. Like, I think David Lynch is, like, one of the most unique and, like, interesting filmmakers.
Yeah.
Like, I remember seeing Mulholland Drive for the first time, and I was totally blown away by that movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, have you guys seen Mulholland Drive?
I've
I've
never seen that.
Okay. Frank, what did you think of it?
I mean, I mean, it's cool. It's not my favorite. Like, I love Blue Velvet. Oh, fucking Wild at Heart is my favorite David Lynch film.
Okay, yeah.
Have you seen Wild at Heart?
No.
I think you would. It's his craziest movie. I mean, like Eraserhead is like, oh, it's surreal crazy. Wild at Heart is Nicolas Cage doing an Elvis impression with Lena Dunham, the Professor Sadler from Jurassic Park.
Yeah. That's not Lena Dunham. That's
not Lena Dunham. Laura
Dern.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
like,
it's Nicolas Cage doing an Elvis impersonation for 2 hours, going on a like killing spree. It's amazing and so fun. I love Wild at Heart. I really like Twin Peaks. I mean, the second season sucks, but for what it was, it's really charming and cool. And then Blue Velvet's really great. But yeah, I mean, Lynch was one of the. I mean, like Lynch, Paul Thomas Anderson, Harmony Korine, they're all auteur filmmakers, and like whether you like or whether you respond or don't respond to your work, I just always love and respect auteur filmmakers because it's just people who have these strong visions and they do it all themselves, and it's just like it's great. It's people making art, and you have to love that.
Yeah, I would still rather, and again, like even with Twin Peaks, like when I reviewed it before, I said like. The special episodes of it are incredibly special to me. Like the episodes that are standout to me are television treasure. I mean, they are whatever. Yeah. But to me, 6 out of 30 good episodes is not a good ratio. Yeah. So overall, I say no, it's not a good show. Just overall. But would I ever say don't watch it? No, I would never say that. You owe it to yourself to see. because that is such an incredible thing to have made it to network television that you owe it to yourself to see it. And just because that's my ratio that I get, because it's a 6 out of 30, I give it an F. Yeah. That's not to say I give it an F for existing or whatever. I just mean that in terms of, but those 6 hours of TV are incredibly special to me. So, you have to respect that whatever. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah, I remember watching the first episode of Twin Peaks, and I was totally, intrigued. Yeah. I think it's one of the best pilots. Yeah. Of all time, in my opinion. It's so intriguing. And I think, Frank, you did a really good parody of it.
Oh, yeah.
Which I really liked. Yeah. Yeah, just that, you know what's weird, though? What sort of reminded me of that pilot of that first episode of Twin Peaks was the pilot of Lost. In the same way that it sort of pulled you into the story. Yeah. Where you didn't think it was going to become this, mythology. Yeah. But it did. And it was just so intriguing. And one of the reasons I loved Lost was because it was just, this mythology was so well thought out, I think, in my opinion anyway. A lot of people, seem to think, it's consensus that the writers were making up a lot of shit as they went along. Mm-hmm. But it's that happens with all TV, though.
Yeah, to me, when that kept getting dangled above their heads, fine. To me, as long as the story is intriguing, I don't care if they thought of it this morning. And that doesn't matter to me.
And regardless if they were making it up as they went along, or if they already had it planned, we still would end up with the same product. The production of it isn't important as the product itself.
Yeah.
Well, for me, the best episode of Lost for me is, I guess, the constant.
He's trying so hard to get the longest call.
I have to go. Because I don't mean to be rude, but as soon as I heard Lost,
I'm
gonna have to go.
Because
I'll be here for another. I'll be here for another 5 hours.
Cheated. I cheated the Lost.
Cheated.
I understand.
I'm gonna take off. You guys enjoy your Lost conversation.
No, I don't even want to.
See you tomorrow morning.
Anything else?
All right. Kevin, see you later.
All right.
Kevin, a quick thing before you.
All right.
Did you end the call?
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Cheaters never prosper. Hey, what's up?
Oh man.